Hello and welcome to the KRES All-Star Basketball Show. I'm Brad Boyer, Operations Manager. We look forward to the day when we can resume our tradition of honoring the KRES All-Stars and our Coaches of the Year in a banquet-type setting. But we are thankful for what we did have this year, and that was a basketball season. Many thanks to our area teams for welcoming our crew into their gymnasiums, and to our great sponsors who teamed with us to make the many basketball broadcasts possible this season. Enjoy now this presentation of the KRES All-Star Basketball Show.
Let's check in with the state champion Boonville Lady Pirates. First time Boonville has won a state championship on the girls' side. And Jared Hunsiker, the Boonville Lady Pirate coach, has a pair of KRES All-Stars and a pair of All-Staters as well. A three-time KRES All-Star in junior Addison Brownfield and a first-time KRES All-Star in senior Courtney Kendrick. Coach, floor's yours.
I'd like to present the certificates for being a KRES All-Star to Addison Brownfield and Courtney Kendrick.
Thanks.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank KRES for honoring such an amazing group of not only athletes but individuals as well. Congratulations to the honorees for being remarkable role models on and off the court, along with your dedication and hard work in becoming the all-star that you are. It has been a privilege the last 2 years to introduce Boonville Lady Pirate Addison Brownfield as a KRES All-Star and briefly describe what makes her special as a player. This year, it's even more special as she is joined by fellow teammate, senior Courtney Kendrick. These two joined the Lady Pirates during the same season 3 years ago, Addie coming in as a freshman and Courtney her sophomore year, having played the previous season at a neighboring school. Throughout the last 3 seasons, they have helped their fellow Lady Pirate teammates compile an overall record of 70 wins and just 10 losses. During the season, both Addie and Courtney helped bring another conference and district title to the Lady Pirate program, along with being named first team Tri-County Conference, first team All-District coaches, first team Class 4 Central Missouri All-District, KMZU Dream Teamers, Class 4 All-State, and now being honored as KRES All-Stars. Within a game of one another, they are also surpassed the 1,000 career points. Another honor that they both will be recognized for the rest of their lives is that of being Class 4 state champions. For many years, these two, along with their teammates, have always been champions to me and to many others. When it comes to practice and games, champions always come ready to make themselves and their teammates better through hard work and leading by example. These two are an example of that. When it comes to attitude and leadership, champions always come ready to listen, accept coaching, and pick their teammates up when they need it. These two are an example of that. When it comes to being great role models, champions always do things the right way that their coaches and parents can be proud of, if it's on the court, in the classroom, or even in the community. And these two are a great example of that. In our locker room, the phrase "leave a legacy" appears on the wall. It is a constant reminder that each career or season is a blank, open book, and it is up to each player and team to write their story. What is written on those pages will be how each of them will be remembered. With these two, Addie and Courtney, there is no greater legacy than the one they are leaving behind. And that is a positive influence left on future generations of Lady Pirates. Again, I congratulate you both on being honored this season as KRES All-Stars.
Congratulations to Addie and also Courtney. And Coach, just a follow-up question for you. I mean, Boonville has had a lot of great teams over many years. And, of course, Addison and Courtney, big parts of that for many years. What have they meant for the group as a whole to finally get the Lady Pirates over that hump and win that state title we're viewing to my right?
Well, it's special. These girls they grew up watching the Lady Pirates before them, and then we were lucky enough in 2015 to make a run to the Final Four and end up getting third place. And these girls were there watching them. So it's always been, over these last handful of years, they've wanted to get to that stage as well. The last three years, we've came up short, and for us to finally win a district this year, and then we talk about destiny. it just seemed like we were ready to take and be on that big stage and not only be happy to be there, but also, we prepared to win a state championship. And these girls, you never once leading up to it, these two and their teammates always thought they were going to win it. Never once did I hear them talk about what was going to happen if we took and lost the semifinal game or the championship game. They were already planning the celebration afterwards. So these two, they're gym rats. You'll find these guys in the gym on weekends, after school, throughout the season. Doesn't matter if it's fall, with winter, with the season, or even in the spring and summer. They're always finding ways to get better. And again, they're a huge part of why this thing is sitting right here on the table.
Has it sunk in for the three of you yet?
You guys
No, still no. Yeah, still feels like a dream. I don't know if it's ever going to sink in.
Yeah. It's,
Courtney,
I told many people, I said, 6 years ago, coming back with a Final Four appearance, which was the first in 37 years for the school. It was the first for me. You had a kind of this feeling that you always wanted to experience it, and motivated you for the next years to experience it again. But when you come back a state champion, there's days where you wake up and you have to almost pinch yourself to make sure, see if it's real or not. So it's I probably watch some type of highlight or something each day on the game, and it's nice. It's a daily reminder when you see these faces in the halls every day as well.
Yeah, understand. Jared Hunsiker, Boonville Lady Pirate coach, and then the KRES All-Stars, Addison Brownfield and Courtney Kendrick. Coach, congratulations on the state championship. And Addie and Courtney, same to you, and congrats on your KRES All-Stars.
Thank you.
And joining us now is Cairo head coach Nick Zanker and his KRES All-Star Gage Wilson. Thanks for joining us tonight, and Coach, take it away.
All right, thanks, JB, and thanks for having us and putting this all together. We know what a unique year it's been with COVID and the pandemic and everything, so to put a presentation like this together virtually is very neat. I also want to thank everybody at the station for all they've done and for all their coverage throughout the year. Obviously, nobody does it better than you guys do. I am really excited to introduce our KRES All-Star for our boys basketball team, Gage Wilson. As everybody knows, Gage is our primary ball handler, our best option from three-point range. His teammates kind of compare him to John Stockton or Chris Paul. Is that right, Gage? No? All right. So getting serious here, Gage is obviously our 6'9" center, and he had an outstanding year. He's had an outstanding 3 years for us. Some stats for Gage. He averaged 14 points a game this year. He shot 68% from the field, which is, we think, we looked on the Misha site, we believe that's top 10 all-time in the state. He averaged 8 rebounds a game, 1.2 assists per game, a steal and a half. He had 48 block shots. He is at 950 career points, which he should go over 1,000 points next year. He was CAC Conference MVP, the district MVP. He was all-state. He has been a captain and a leader on the team, but went 24-2 this season, winning the Glasgow tournament, the Salisbury tournament, the La Plata tournament championship. He is a CAC champion, and he has won his 3rd straight district title, so that's pretty special. Since Gage has become a starter on our basketball team 3 years ago as a little 6'5" freshman, he's 6'9" now, he has led his team as a captain and leader to a record of 68 wins against only 15 losses. And as a starter on our basketball team, he has won 10 different championships, which is truly special. But Gage's accomplishments go well beyond the game of basketball. He is an honor roll student. He is active in our school and community, and he's a leader on not only our basketball team, but on our baseball team. And he's also a leader on a Missouri Gators baseball team out of St. Louis that he puts a lot of time into in the summer. He is a coach's dream is that he is 100% coachable. And even though I know there are times when I have to coach him hard, and he probably looks at me and thinks, I could probably throw this little man halfway across the gym and there's nothing he could do about it. He hasn't done it yet, and Gage, I hope that never happens in your senior year. I will finish with this, and this is the highest compliment that I can pay any athlete, and that is that Gage is an incredible role model. He's a role model not only with our school and with our students, but my 11-year-old son, Logan, is in the gym every single day, and Logan talks about Gage all the time, and I hope that someday that Logan has all the attributes that Gage has as a leader and with his work ethic ethic and handling adversity. And maybe, just maybe, he'll get just a little bit of Gage's 6'9" frame as well before the pass. So, Gage, thank you for all you've done for our program. I am so happy that you are just a junior, and we get to do this all again next year. So, Cairo and the Village's own Gage Wilson, congratulations on being a KRES All-Star. Congratulations, Gage. Thank you.
That's Cairo head coach Dick Zanker, his KRES All-Star Gage Wilson. Coach, thank you for your time, and Gage, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're joined by Centralia head coach Scott Humphrey and his junior KRES All-Star Grant Arisman, also unanimous first team all-conference. Scott Humphrey, your presentation for your junior KRES All-Star.
Well, first off, we want to say thank you to KRES for everything you guys have done all season long and for the players in this crazy year. Me also being an AD with, the changes in the schedule and everything. I want to say thank you guys. I want to congratulate all the other KRES All-Stars. It's an unbelievable honor. And, I'd also like to take this time to thank Grant's parents and Kevin and Amanda. They're very supportive. They allow me to push their son and coach their son. And, I really appreciate all the support they give us. Like you said, my junior KRES All-Star, Grant Arisman, coming into the year, I knew that Grant was going to have a big year for us to continue the success we've had here in the last couple of years. We had a whole new team. Essentially, we had one returning guy that played any significant minutes, basically from the past 3 seasons. So it was going to be a different year and a learning curve. And Grant was somebody that really stepped up and made this a very enjoyable season, another successful season, another winning season here in Centralia. Numbers, everybody's got numbers that gets an award like this. Grant, pretty much a double-double machine, somebody that I can always count on to score, obviously rebounds well with his height and athleticism. But the thing about Grant that I have to get used to is the fact that he does it quietly. There'll be times when I look out there and I would say, what's Arisman doing? What's going on? Next thing you know, I get the stat line and it's 16 points and 11 rebounds or 17 points and 13 rebounds or something like that. He doesn't demand the ball. He's somebody that can get his points in bunches in a lot of different ways. And somebody that has got tremendous upside. I think we just scratched the surface with how good Grant can be. Some of the highlights of that Grant had this year was obviously, like you said in the opening, it was unanimous first team all conference in Clarence Cannon. That's a huge honor. Something doesn't come around very often. I don't know if I've had a unanimous first team guy, and Grant was that. I think we kind of had our backs up against the wall late in the year. One of our main goals was we really wanted to have a winning season, continue that. And we 4th consecutive winning season here. It's the first time we've done that since the 80s. And, we had to win the last 2 regular season games to get that accomplished on the road at a very tough Macon team and on the road at a much bigger school in Warrenton. And I think Grant saved his best 2 games for those. Had 19 points and 14 rebounds when we went up to Macon that night and kind of pulled off an upset that I don't think a lot of people gave us an opportunity in. And then, we went to Warrenton in a different environment, against a bigger, more physical school. And, kind of looked like it was slipping through our fingers. And then Grant rattles off 3 3-pointers late in the game and knocks down some big buckets late that gives us the opportunity to get a win. And, that's just kind of summarizes the season Grant had. I think moving into next year, like I said, I think the sky's the limit for him. I think things that I got to demand of him, more leadership. A lot of times he doesn't talk a whole lot. He just gives you that little smirk there. But somebody that can be more vocal and, kind of develop some parts of his games. But the best part about Grant is he loves basketball. He's a great young man, and he's a tremendous asset to our program.
You mentioned just scratching the surface of what he can do. So what are your hopes for Grant on the floor this offseason as he prepares to lead your team next year?
Well, you may not notice by his massive stature, but Grant does work very hard in the weight room. He's somebody that has gotten a lot stronger. His athleticism is through the roof. Something we talk about all the time is being able to finish with contact, which I think he got better at during the season. And then his outside shot. You got to 6'4" kid that can score around the basket and take one dribble and get to the front of the rim the way he does. If he can develop an outside shot, more consistent outside shot, that just makes him that much harder to guard. The thing about Grant is he's going to be playing all spring. He's going to be playing all summer. And, he's going to hit the ground running. And I know I'm going to get the best of him next year.
Centralia head coach Scott Humphrey and his junior KRES All-Star Grant Erisman. Another winning season for the Panthers. Appreciate your time, gentlemen, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Our next KRES All-Star is Community's Alexis Welch. And with us to introduce her and to talk about her is Community head coach Bob Curtis.
Yeah, first off, I'd like to thank KRES and the area coaches for voting Alexis onto the team. In her 3 years as a Trojan, she has been a part of the 3 conference championships, a big part as a starter, 3 district championships, and 2 Final Four appearances, which as a freshman, sophomore, she played extremely well, under the highest circumstances. So just she's a winner. And one of my favorite players to have ever coached in my 20 years, and I don't mind saying that. Can't wait to see what her senior year is going to bring. During this season, averaged 14.8 points per game and around 8.6 rebounds per game. So definitely affected both ends of the floor with her play, and just a special player. The team ended up at 28-2, and she was a big part of the reason that we had such a great year and have had 3 great years in a row here. So with that, I'd like to present this KRES All-Star certificate to junior standout Alexis Welch, along with the patch that's always given for her coach. So congratulations, Alexis.
Now, talking about those 3 years that you've had with Alexis thus far, what do you think has been the biggest maturity point, biggest growth that you've seen in her game through these last 3 years?
Well, I think one of the points, she's definitely on everybody's scouting report now, and she kind of added the 3-point line to her game. She can go down in the post and kind of play with her back to the basket. And this year, I think she ended up with around 16 threes on the season, and probably should have and could have taken more. But she can handle the ball as a post player, and I'm just excited for her senior season and wherever she chooses to play after that.
Now, what goes into this offseason to see success again like you'd expect in the senior season?
Well, her leadership, I think, is going to kind of shine here. We've got some kids that are obviously coming back that are good players, but also some kids that I think are coming back to the program that didn't play necessarily last year. So there'll be some new faces. I think Alexis does a great job of just kind of bringing everybody together and being a senior leader. So I thought she did a nice job with that as a junior. But she'll also carry the weight of doing some of the scoring and just kind of bring the team together this summer, hopefully.
And what kind of things do you look for within her to achieve that leadership role and be that leader that she needs to be?
Well, modeling that, how we practice, our program, we definitely believe that every day, if you're not doing what you should be doing on game night, it's going to show up. And our practices are very competitive. We have a big squad, so we can go against our second group and make it a priority to kind of work on the things that have given us success over the last 15 years or so. And so she knows what that looks like, and I think she'll hold those young kids to a high standard, because she definitely was when she was young. The pecking order, she's at the top of it, and she'll bring these kids along, and hopefully we'll have a successful year.
Community's Alexis Welch, Coach Bob Curtis. Coach, thanks for the time. Alexis, congrats on the honor.
All right. Thank you very much.
Our next KRES All-Star is Fayette's Kyle Schleter. We're joined by Kyle and Fayette coach John Bishop. Coach, take it away.
Yeah, so thank you, KRES. First and foremost, you guys have been doing this for a long time. It's very exciting to have a Fayette basketball player on the KRES All-Star team. Kyle's well deserved. So we're going to get into this a little bit. So one thing I always say, when you score 1,124 points in your first 3 years of varsity play, you're all conference your sophomore and junior year, you're all district your junior year. When you come in, everybody's kind of gunning for you. And so we knew that coming into the season. Kyle knew that coming into the season. He spends a great deal of time in the gym working on his game, really being focused. But when all those kind of things factor in, you kind of expect everybody to face you and just know that they're gunning for you, really, kind of, right? Well, all he did was increase his points per game to 25 points a game and score 660 points this season. So credit to him and his play. I think one thing I also was very proud of is his leadership skills this year. He really showed that and was able to kind of define that as a team and really some of our younger guys and look to him to develop a little bit. And I think that's a proud moment as a coach for him. Very proud of all the deserving accolades that he received. He also led us at steals and deflections on defense, so it wasn't just about scoring for him. He did end his career with 1,785 points. He had 8 30-point games and 4 double-doubles. He led us in 23 of our 26 games this season. He shot 41% from the three-point line. And due to all of that, the Lewis and Clark coaches voted him MVP of the conference. And so I thought that was another nice moment in his career and obviously a great accolade. He was also on the Class 3 District 7 all-district team and the KMZU Dream Team. So very proud of Kyle, very proud of all the things he's accomplished in his career. He's been great to coach. I think we may have an announcement in the next few weeks, maybe where he's going to end up going and playing and furthering his career. And so we're excited about that. And we just want to congratulate Kyle Schlueter and thank KRES for the opportunity.
I want to ask you a little bit about just his growth and how he was able to score so much and able to have as much success as he did, even with him being the guy, so to speak. What element of his game do you think impressed you the most, if there was a certain element that impressed you the most?
Well, he really, since I picked him up as a sophomore and began coaching him, and as he grew to a senior, he really has improved his defense. He's also improved other elements of his game, making more mid-range jumpers, really being focused on trying to incorporate different aspects and not just be a shooter. So I'm really proud of that. I will tell any young player that's watching this, one thing you can learn from this guy is that anytime the gym door is open, he's in there. He's in there working on his game. Any shoot around we had, anytime, over the summer, if I sent out a message to the guys and said, hey, I'll be up at the gym for an hour and a half doing some stuff, working. You want to come up and shoot, come on, and he's there. He's always focused on that. I mean, when you look up Gym Rat in the dictionary, his picture's right there. And I think that's just a testament to his passion for the game, but also knowing that he needed to work hard and improve. And so we're really proud of that and really proud of his success.
And you mentioned those improvements on the defensive side. Which parts of his game specifically did see those defensive improvements?
Well, and like I said, he worked really hard to get his hands out, so he let us in deflections. He worked really hard to kind of pick his moments when he'd go, steal a pass. He also rebounded really well. He was second on our team in rebounds with about 7 per game. So, he really bought into all aspects of the game to really help us see the success that we had this season.
Now, I want to ask for you looking in the future, how in the heck do you replace a guy the caliber of Kyle Schlueter?
Well, you work really hard to develop the young guys, but I've said all the season, Kyle had his average and Kyle scored a lot of points for us, but we had a lot of players around him too. Like I said, even when he led us in scoring in some of our games, we still had a couple other guys with 10, 15, 12, 18, maybe 20 points in a game. So we have players that we can continue to work on. He's been a big part of that, of being able to kind of help develop them as players. And I'm really proud of that. And it shows the pride that he has in our program. So the future is still bright at Fayette basketball.
Head coach John Bishop, Kyle Schlueter. Kyle, congrats on the honor. Coach, thanks for the time.
He's a little scared to talk, but he appreciates it. Thank you, guys, and thank you for the time.
We move to Green City for our next KRES All-Star presentation, which is Layden Fields of the Green City Gophers, and he is joined by his father and head coach, Donnie Fields. And with the presentation now is Coach Fields and Layden. Guys, take it away.
Hello. Thank you, Colin, for for your coverage this year. This is my son, Layden Fields. He is a KRES All-Star this year for the first year. Layden was our point guard and our team captain this year. He led us to a 25-5 overall record. He led us to our first quarterfinal appearance in several years, a district championship, conference championship. We placed third in the Northwestern tournament, second in the Mile and La Plata tournament. He scored his 1,000th point about midway through this year as a junior. He was also selected to the Mile and All tournament team. He was first team all-conference, District 11 Player of the Year, and Class 1 All-State. This year, Layden averaged right at 16 points a game for us. He was around 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 3.3 steals. He shot 65% from the line and 48% from the field. Offensively, Layden was our go-to. He if we needed a big play, we put the ball in his hands and either let him make the play or score the basketball. He played most of the time at the point guard. We did put him inside some later in the year. When we went into postseason play, some teams would run a box and one on him, or where they'd run a triangle and two against us. And we put him inside, and he did a great job of facilitating in there as long as we got the ball to him in the high post. He had a great season. He was our leader on the floor. He had a game-high 19 points in the district championship game versus Novinger. He had a game-high 26 points in the sectional game versus Meadville. And in the quarterfinal loss that we had, he had a game-high 15 points against Higbee. He did a great job in those games. I know we were young this year, and his leadership meant a lot to us. He did a great job of trying to settle guys down and get them the basketball in positions that they could score. On the other part, like Colin said, Layden is my son also, and this is the second time I've got to stand up here with my son as them being a KRES All-Star, and it is tremendous feeling as a dad to know that your son has worked to get to these points to where he's receiving these honors. And, a big thank you to KRES and their fantastic team for keeping this going, in the rough times that we've had. This year, for sure, bringing it back. Last year was probably a rough time. This year, I know it's virtual, but we're still getting to represent these kids, and that is a great thing that they do for these kids every year. At this time, I'd like to present Layden with his KRES All-Star Award and his patch. And again, thank you all.
Well said, Coach. And I was going to kind of ask as a little bit of a follow-up, how rewarding is it both as a coach but also as a father to see the way Layden has developed as a player so far through 3 years of high school?
Well, I get to see him, the work that he puts in all the time, and I understand where it's coming from. I know he has goals set. I know his older brother's done things that made him set goals that he wanted to achieve the same things his older brother did. And he's following right in the footsteps. He's doing a great job. And it's just very rewarding for me and his mom to see him get these accomplishments.
As Coach Donnie Fields and his KRES All-Star, Layden Fields. Layden, congratulations. And guys, thanks for the time.
Thank you. Thank you, Colin.
And time for another KRES All-Star presentation, as we are joined now by Hallsville Lady Indians head coach Matt Heat and his KRES All-Star Avery Edding, a junior and first-time addition to the KRES All-Star team. And to present her plaque, or her certificate and patch, is Coach Matt Heat. Coach, take it away.
Well, first of all, thank you all at KRES for recognizing Avery. We know with the amount of schools that are in your listing area, it's an incredible accomplishment. I know at Hallsville, we've had very few kids receive this honor, and the fact that Avery was recognized, we are very grateful for, and of course, proud of all the work that she puts in. So thank you all so much for taking the time to do this for all of our local athletes in basketball. As far as Avery's accomplishments, first of all, what's exciting for me as a coach is that Avery just completed her junior year. So I get the honor of coaching her for one more season this next summer and next winter. She made the Harrisburg All-Tournament team this year. As far as season-long accomplishments, she was second team All-Conference, which is a great accomplishment for our conference considering we actually had 3 state qualifiers in our conference and the state champion at Class 4, Boonville. She was also named to the all-district team, and she was also named to the media's all-region team. So I'm proud to give Avery her certificate and her patch. And thank you, Avery.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And to kind of add some items to this, Coach, you mentioned for Hallsville, this is an honor that is been very, very few players from Hallsville have been able. What does this say? I guess first and foremost for Avery to receive this honor, especially as a junior.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, as far as kids at Hallsville, outside of All State, it might be the hardest accolade to garner. So it's just for her work ethic, and she's a tremendous athlete, a tremendous person, tremendous student. Everything about her is just, a real pleasure to coach. So I'm just so happy for her that, she gets recognized for it and such a great recognition as well.
And Avery, pretty well the same question, but how's it feel to receive this honor and to drive you to reach this point again next year?
It means a lot to me, but it wouldn't have happened without my teammates and my coaches there to push me through every step of the way. And it would mean even more to me if I could get this next year too.
And Coach, as far as pushing her next year, any I guess sage advice for next season for her?
Well, she's welcome to score as much as she wants. Get as many steals, rebounds, assists. I will not place any limits on her. She's welcomed to do it all. But no, honestly, I know she's going to do all the right things, both inside and outside of the sport, to make sure she can have her best senior year possible. And we're just going to try to have as much fun and have as much enthusiasm for it as we can.
All right, guys. Anything else you'd like to add before we let you go?
Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right. That is Hallsville Lady Indians head coach Matt Heat and his KRES All-Star Avery Edding. Guys, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you.
And we are back here on the KRES All-Star Banquet. Our next presentation is from Harrisburg, as we are joined by Harrisburg Lady Bulldogs head coach Ryan Richardson and his KRES All-Star for the second year in a row, Bailey Combs. And to introduce his All-Star, here is Coach Richardson.
Thanks for having us. It's been truly a great pleasure to get to do it 2 years in a row with Bailey. And I just kind of want to start out by kind of just summing up what her career at Harrisburg has been like and what it's meant to me as a coach and her to the community and her as a player. Bailey scored 873 points in her career. And to show you where she started, where she's at now, she had 44 as a freshman. And so she had 418 this year. And you've heard us talk a lot about it through the years if you listen to us on the radio, how far she's come. And I was actually talking with Bailey yesterday, and she mentioned the moment where her switch basically came for basketball. She was at a basketball camp, and she had a scrimmage against the guys, and she ended up bringing home an MVP from that camp. And she knew right then that she wanted to continue her basketball career. And she flipped a switch from that moment on. So going from 44 points as a freshman to 418 as a senior is just awesome. And it shows the progress. The other thing with Bailey is she was forced to start as a freshman. Started her very first game. I think I told her that that 22-minute mark before the game, I think, is when she found out. And I think outside of that, I'd say she started all but, I want to say, 3 or 4 games in her career at Harrisburg. And 3 of those were because of senior nights. So, she's come a long ways. In her career, she's been a 5-time all-tournament player, 2-time all-conference player, 2-time all-district player, and she was co-player of the year this year in our district. She was 2-time all-media, 2-time KRES All-Star, and she was all-state this year. We finished second last year in districts, and we were able to win districts this year. And she just recently signed to play John Wood Community College for basketball. And so the thing with Bailey is we know that her basketball is still going to grow and her skill, and she's going to develop, and her best basketball is yet ahead of her, and she's going to accomplish that in college, and we're really excited about that. But to know Bailey more than just as a basketball person, she also participates in cross country, softball, and she does track as well. And this year she's had a heck of a run in her career, but this year in particular, in cross country, she broke every school record this year. She was an all-district, all-state, and finished 11th in the state, as well as being a district champion cross country and 3rd as a team in the state. And then in softball, she was also an all-district, all-conference, all-region, and academic all-state player, and they were also a district champion softball. So just this year alone, in her senior year, Bailey and her teammates have been able to accomplish 3 district titles in the 3 sports so far. And Bailey gets to make her debut in track tonight for this year, coming off an ankle injury that happened there at the very end of basketball. She's kind of been held a little bit slow by that, so she gets to go full go tonight in track. And I know the expectation there is for her to be able to try to knock out another school record that somebody else holds that I think Bailey has a good shot at beating too. So, Bailey is a person, is just a natural competitor. She's going to be irreplaceable, and there's been tremendous players in Harrisburg Lady Bulldog history. I've only been here for a short time, in 4 years, but I'd be hard-pressed for anybody to tell me that she's not up there with one of the all-time greats that's ever played here for the Lady Bulldog basketball program. And it's a great day, but as a head coach at Harrisburg, it's truly a sad day that we're finishing her senior year.
And Coach, as far as the just being able for you, you mentioned 4 years at Harrisburg and being able to coach Bailey all 4 years. What's that mean for you to come into a place like Harrisburg and to be able to coach a player like Bailey?
Well, Harrisburg is a really unique community and environment when it comes to basketball. And when I got the job here, I just was lucky enough that I got to play for Coach Bachmeyer, who I took over for, and so I was able to chat with him a little bit, and I kept up with Harrisburg through the days just because of Coach Bachmeyer. So when I took the job here, I knew that it was going to be a fairly, high-level job and high-stress job and high expectations every year. And so coming in and being a young team when I took over, we put a lot of stock into this year's seniors, and in particular, I put a ton into Bailey, which, being that her dad's a Hall of Fame coach in his own regard, and then our principal is a boys coach, and Coach Bachmeyer's an assistant on the boys team. There's tons of basketball knowledge here as a staff, and so I knew if I was going to start Bailey as a freshman that it had to work and it had to be right, or it very well could went south for us here. So putting that stock into her early on and seeing the payday that we got this year, Bailey and I are pretty close as it is, but I don't think Bailey's ever going to truly know what she meant to me as a coach and as a leader of this team. I don't think words or time will ever do that justice. But Bailey will forever be the measuring stick for me anywhere I've been or anywhere that I may end up, and hopefully that's here for my career. But Bailey, it just doesn't get better than Bailey as a player, and so it is hard to see her go. And it's hard to think about what's going to be not writing her name in that game book next year or having her to lead practices. But I also know that I had the best player you could have for 4 years and the best kind of leader to teach our younger players how to get it done. So we're excited and hope that transpires to them. And hopefully, fingers crossed, Bailey will come around a little bit and still be around to help us.
All right, that is Coach Ryan Richardson of the Harrisburg Lady Bulldogs and his KRES All-Star Bailey Combs. We turn our attention to the Harrisburg boys basketball team now for our next KRES All-Star presentation. And with us now is Coach Kyle Fisher of the Harrisburg Bulldogs and his All-Star Tanner Lannis. Coach, take it away.
Okay, thank you guys. First of all, thank you, KRES, for putting this on. This is obviously a little bit of a different event than normal, and we're just excited that they were able to figure this out and to get it put on in any way. It's always a first-class event, and obviously a little different this year, but no less prestigious. So thank you to KRES, and just congratulations to all the players. Tons of talent in the area this year, and proud to introduce this guy, Tanner Lannis, first-time KRES All-Star. A little bit about Tanner. He's started ever since his freshman year. I was not smart enough to start him in game one his freshman year, and then we took a beating first game and decided it's time to get him in there second game. He's pretty much started every game ever since. And, he's really developed different parts of his game over the years. And he'll be the first one to tell you his freshman year, he's pretty much just a shooter, a really good shooter at that, kind of relied on other guys to give him the ball, get him open. And then his sophomore year, he kind of really developed into more of a scorer, able to score at kind of all three levels. Good shooter, good pull-up game, good mid-range, and also to get to the hole a little bit. And then this year, as a junior, we moved him into that point guard role and kind of let him be a little more of a playmaker. And that turned out to be really good for our offense. So we became a much better offensive team, just getting the ball in his hands a little bit more. And he did a great job making other guys better. I thought that was the biggest thing he improved on this year, was just being able to make other guys better. And so that was, it's been great to see his development over the last couple of years. He kind of showing his development from a shooter into more of a scorer and playmaker. His freshman year, he was averaging 2 free throws a game, and this year he's all the way up to 6.5. And so, like I said, just really excited to see his development over the last couple of years, and excited to see what he can do next year. A couple things that stood out about Tanner's year this year: he scored over 20 points 12 times. He plays best in big games. That's what you want your best players to do, is play their best in big ball games. Tanner had his high of the year was 30. He had 30 points in our win over Salisbury in the Centralia Tournament Championship. And he had 26 in a close loss against Battle, and then 25 in a win over Boonville. So, three of the toughest teams we played all year. Tanner had, probably three of his best games on the year. For the year, he averaged 18.6 points a game, 6.6 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and 2 steals per game. He made over 50 threes and shot 79% from the free throw line. So really just a really well-rounded player, both offensively and defensively, and with, like I said, rebounding basketball really well for us as well. Some of the things that he's done already in his career, just as a junior, he's scored his 1,000th point this year, midway through the year. He has been first-team all-conference all 3 years, and has also been selected to the all-district team all 3 years. And this year he was finally rewarded with an all-state selection, his first one. The great thing about Tanner, he loves to play. He's actually going to leave school early today to go play in a basketball tournament, which, as a principal, that's one thing. As a basketball coach, I don't mind too much. But, he loves to play. He loves to get in the gym. And I think his best basketball is still to come. And the great thing about Tanner is that I get to coach him for one more year since he's only a junior. So it's a great honor that I get to present this award to Tanner Lannis, KRES All-Star. Congrats.
All right, Coach. You mentioned Tanner being a junior. What are you looking for from him to continue to grow as a player his senior year?
Just continue to develop his all-around game. I kind of talked about in the speech a little bit that his offensive game, he's developed from a shooter to a scorer to a playmaker, and he's got to just continue to do that. And next year as a senior, we're going to look for even more leadership out of him than what he already displays. You watch him play. He's definitely not the rah-rah, most vocal guy on the court, but he definitely leads by example, and his teammates follow him. And so, just looking for him to continue to expand his game both offensively and defensively, and just be that floor leader, that floor general. He's got a big, he's got a big load to carry. We asked him to score, we asked him to play the point, ask him to rebound a bunch, and I wouldn't ask him to do it if he couldn't do it. And so he just needs to continue to do all those things, and I know he will. And like I said in the speech, I'm excited to be able to coach him for one more year.
All right, that is Coach Kyle Fisher, the Harrisburg Bulldogs, along with his KRES All-Star, Tanner Lannis. Guys, thanks for the time, and congratulations once again, Tanner.
All right, thank you, guys. Really appreciate the coverage.
Our next KRES All-Star is a freshman, Higbee Tigers' Jordan Fimler. And the Higbee Tigers, of course, coming off a pretty fun Show Me Showdown run. And alongside Jordan Fimler is head coach Tanner Burton to present him. Coach, take it away.
We talk about Jordan Fimler. He was a huge part of the success we had this year. When you look at Higbee making the Final Four run, for a freshman to come in and play the role he did was pretty special. The young man, we talked about all season long, preseason, when I met with media, that, he had a basketball IQ that was at a high level and, the ability that was higher than a lot of seniors. And, people didn't really know what to expect out of Higbee basketball this year. And I think Jordan came out and produced at a high level. And he would be the first to tell you that his teammates around him helped ensure that he was successful. When you look at everybody stepping up and playing their expected roles, that was something that we preached early in the season, and we saw that. And Jordan's role was to do a little bit of everything. And, we talked about pivotal points of the season, and we look at, a time right after Christmas break where we kind of had a challenge as a team. And one of the things Jordan did was the next two games he came out, he pumped out 20 assists. And so when you have a kid that can do anything asked of him, it shows you how special and talented he can be. And I think, the fortunate thing for us is Jordan's a freshman, and we're just now seeing the potential. And I think Jordan's got a long way to go, and we're excited about that because I think the ceiling's really high for this young man, and I think we're going to hear a lot about him for the years to come.
I want to ask you, you mentioned those other teammates. Let's start with the leader of the team, Keaton Redifer. What'd you like from your lone senior this year alongside Jordan?
Well, it was just a compliment. You saw him with William Gibson last year, and so he kind of stood back and had a kid scoring about 23, 24 points a game. And so then he comes in as a senior, and he's got standing up scoring, 16 points a game. And so you never know how a kid's going to react. And so you saw that he stepped up and he played big when he needed to play big. And there was many times this season that I challenged Keaton to play like a senior because these freshmen needed that example. And I think it's something that you don't always, understand. And I think that was something that Keaton did really well down the stretch. And I think he gave the freshmen, a little extra bit of confidence.
Have to talk about the other freshman, Derek Rocket. How did they complement so well this year as just two freshmen? How did they do what they did?
Well, they've played for Jamie for years, I think all the way back to second grade. And so Jordan having a coach as a dad, it's pretty special. And I think him coaching both of these young men and our other freshmen too, you're seeing that pay off. And I think that's huge. You look at Derek and Jordan, they're crazy similar in terms of, my wife always asks me, do they ever talk? And they don't. They're pretty quiet. They're laid back. They're very humble. They just go out. They're competitive. They get to work. They do their job, and they expect everybody around them to do their job. And that's crazy for a freshman because that's not typical. And so we see that, and it's really special. And you see Derek that they can they balance each other. We saw it in the postseason. One would have a big quarter, then one would be balanced for the game, or one would have a huge night like Northwest Hughesville, and you'd have Derek that's consistent or whatever. And so it's just they kind of feed off of each other, and it's only going to get stronger the older they get, and it's pretty cool.
So what are the next steps to continue to see these two freshmen increasingly get better in the game as we go on in the coming years?
We're getting to work. I think 7 hours after we got done with the Final Four trip, we started playing our summer basketball, and we've got games lined up. We've got more challenges ahead of us. We're going to adventure off, get 4 or 5 hours away, play competition from out of state, play different looks, get our team together to gel because we didn't get that. And, I'm big on the summer helps develop the teams. And I think you're going to see these young men be so much stronger next year that they have a summer under their belt, and the confidence they gain from each other is going to be huge. And so I think, the next thing you can expect is when we hit the hardwood against, I think, Bevere in November, and we'll see what we put on the floor.
Does it make this miraculous run that you guys had feel a little better given that it was a COVID year and such an odd year?
I think when you look at the adversity we played, I would say Jordan remembers probably in November when he went down with an injury, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, like how severe is this?" And we weren't real sure. There was talk of fracture and all kinds of stuff, and that's scary things for a freshman to hear anyway, especially one with his ability. And then we got shut down by COVID right after that, and so it gave him a great, kind of relief in terms of there was no additional pressure to him. We were able to do the yoga and stuff at home, and he was able to recover. Not a great situation. We had kids out with COVID and stuff like that, but seeing kids personally battle through adversity like that, when you think you could have maybe won a couple more games or whatever, if you'd had those whole season. I mean, we missed 6 games, I think, and you had the first 5, I think we played without Jamie that started the second half of the season every game. So, I mean, there was a lot left on the table, and I think that's kind of the thing is we didn't really see what our true potential is and losses and how we compete every night. And I think that's the exciting thing is these kids are going to come back, and hopefully we'll be in a post-COVID year where you get to really lace them up for 32 games and see what you're truly capable of. And I think that's really the kind of the thing that's going to be exciting for these young men moving forward.
Higby's Jordan Fimler, Tanner Burton. Coach, thanks so much for the time, and Jordan, congrats on the honor.
We appreciate it.
We go to Kirksville High School for our next All-Star presentation. One of the repeat members on the KRES All-Star team is Noah Copeland, and with our presentation is head coach Tyler Martin. Go ahead, Coach.
All right, I'm here to present this certificate to Noah Copeland. He is a part of the 2021 KRES All-Star team, so congratulations. Noah is, like you mentioned, a 2-time All-Star. He was a first-time member of the All-State team this year. He's a 4-time All-Conference guy, 3-time All-District. He averaged 17-plus points a game for us, close to 10 rebounds a game. This year, he surpassed the 1,000-point mark. He also set our school rebounding record this year. He also led our team in assists, steals, and turnovers even. So that's a good knock for him. He had the ball in his hands quite a bit, but just a leader for us on and off the court. Was a huge piece of our success the last 2-3 years, and he's our KRES All-Star, Noah Copeland.
All right, congratulations, Noah. Coach, players like this don't come around too often. When he graduates from Kirksville High, what do you think his legacy is in your mind?
He's going to be one of the best that we've had come through here. He had a unique ability he was quiet. People followed him through his actions, but he was also a unique competitor too. You knew he wanted to win, and that's the biggest thing that I probably take away from him is how quiet he was, but how competitive he was still able to be. And he definitely will go down as one of the best that we've had through here. I know the best that I've been able to coach here. As far as all around game, just the impact that he had on games was a lot. And it was a big piece that we'll be missing for years to come, probably.
2 Kirksville Tigers I'm talking to. Who scored more points, Coach?
You want to answer that?
I answered that.
I did. I might have finagled the numbers a little bit, just because I got access to them. No, but I really thought he was gonna get there, and it's kind of one of those being a competitor. You don't necessarily always want that, but it would have been pretty cool if he could have got me. That's for sure.
Did you have more turnovers?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. He was trying to catch me this year, actually, but I definitely did. I didn't have the other stats. I'll give him that. He had those for sure.
Well, it'll be strange when you head to the gym for the first practice next year and he's not out there, won't it?
Yeah. It'll be kind of different not seeing him out there smiling and ready to go.
Noah, congratulations once again being voted the KRES All-Star team.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
That's Coach Tyler Martin. Noah Copeland from the Kirksville Tigers, a KRES All-Star.
Riley Strange of Knox County is our next KRES All-Star, and to talk about her, we have got Knox County head coach James Dent. Coach, take it away.
All right, thank you. First, I'd like to start by thanking KRES Radio for all they do for our local athletes, for the game coverage, and especially for this event, recognizing local all-stars. Riley's really been an important part of our team the last 2 years that I've been the head coach. She's led us in scoring and rebounding. She's really just been a really important part of our team. I feel truly blessed to be her coach and be part of her basketball journey. And I think this award is, or this recognition is especially important or special because it is local coaches that make the decision on this. So with that, I'd like to present the certificate to Riley.
Thank you. Thank you.
Coach, one of the things I want to ask you is when I was talking to Riley, one of the things she said is the progression this year was more because of getting your system implemented another year. What have you seen that process like as a coach? How do you think the girls reciprocated that process throughout the second year?
I agree with Riley's assessment. We obviously, our record shows that we grew as a team. We were essentially the same team, minus we lost one senior last year. And I felt like we basically picked up where we left off, and we did grow from there. Even though we were handicapped with all the challenges that came along with this year with COVID and everything. But everyone else is facing those same challenges. There were times it felt like we were getting hit really, really hard with that. I mean, we had a game where we only had 5 players starting the game. And, it was just, with players being out for extended periods of time, it was at the end was when we finally had the entire team in place to actually run a practice. So that was really a challenge for us. But I do feel like despite that, we overcame that and we did grow as a team.
With you being new to the program too, I always ask the players, how do they think they have matured throughout the year? As a coach, how do you think you've matured with this program throughout this year?
Oh, I definitely think it's a two-way thing. This has been a really good group to help me grow as a coach and to learn, and I really appreciate their dedication and their patience with me as I kind of got my wheels underneath me and was able to, grow as a coach as well. And that's something that I will never, forget.
What are the next steps for this Knox County girls program?
Well, we're basically cleaning the slate with 5 seniors graduating, and we had 5 underclassmen, 3 of them being freshmen left. So we are going to struggle with numbers the next couple of years, and but I'm just going to look at it as a challenge for me to grow even more as a coach, and I think it's going to be fun in different ways. I think we're going to have some things that we didn't have this year or the last couple of years with our younger players, and I do feel like they have the right attitudes and the right kind of thing coming in to grow as players. And so we're going to have some players that are going to be starters from sophomore year on. And I think that we're not going to see that this year, next year probably, but I feel like 3 years, I feel like we'll be back to where we're at now.
What goes into the approach to the off season to get all these new kids ready?
I'm a big believer in the skill work part. I feel like we've got to just buy into the idea of training and trying to improve our skill set. And like I said, we have some different things. I think we're going to be more athletic, so we're going to try to find a way to couple that with the skill work as well.
Knox County KRES All-Star Riley Strange, head coach James Dent. Riley, congrats on the honor. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thank you, sir.
The Macon Tigerettes have a pair of KRES All-Stars. It was a 25-3 record for Macon and back-to-back district champs, and our reigning girls KRES Coach of the Year, Richard Driscoll has the presentation of pair of an all-stater in Lexi Miller and also a senior in Kate Hawkins. Coach, floor is yours.
Thank you, and thank you for the awards that the girls are going to receive. My first award that I'm going to hand out. This girl, she is one of our team leaders. We don't necessarily do like true captains, label girls captains. There's always a pregame girl, but if you would pick a girl that you would have the type of attributes that a captain would be, this girl would be that. She's a leader on the floor. She's a leader off the floor. She gets good grades. She has been nominated to be an all-stater. This will be her second year in a row for that. She was all conference, all district, and she's a really good girl in the classroom. The girls get along with her, and she is one of our main communicators. Her and the other girl that will be announced also, they are our biggest kind of like talkers on defense as far as communicating what we're doing and when we're doing it. So, and they know how important that is defensively for me. She's one of our leaders in every category: assists, rebounds, points, does everything, and we're really proud to have her on our team. And her name for this award that the coaches, and what makes this very special is the coaches nominate these girls, or coaches are the ones that see how good they are. So we appreciate their votes. Lexi Miller, come on up here, Lex. This is your KRES All-Star Award.
Thank you.
All right. Second girl, okay, she's a senior, and I've been thinking a lot because we have our awards assembly coming up soon, and I was trying to think of what she meant for our program, and we have other senior that also, and what she meant. I really think that the first thing I saw when I first got here was that she was hungry, and they wanted to win. Not that they hadn't before, but there was just kind of a look in there, and not just her eyes, but I guess their eyes. But you could tell that there was kind of a determination there, and for a new coach, that you like to see that. And this girl was a leader. She's a good athlete and a good student. She works extremely hard. I know there was a point in time this season where there was some, there were some struggles, and her dad got in the gym extra, and I felt like that was a turning point in her season this year. I know, like, her junior year, she dealt with a really rough injury, and she worked hard to make her. Well, it was before her junior year, but to make her junior season a success. And this is her second year being all conference, unanimous this year. She was all district awarded, and so I think. And then she was Northeast Media. The list rolls down for this girl, and I'm very proud. I'm very sad. I've joked with her. I'm looking a way to get her to fail so she can come back next year and play. The college kids got their extra year of eligibility. I don't know why we can't do that for her. She would be, if we did the whole captain thing, she would be one of our captains, one of our leaders. And I've been very thankful and grateful to have this girl, and we're sorry to see her go. Kate Hawkins. KRES All-Star Award.
All right, congratulations. Why don't we go ahead and get Lexi and Kate back into the picture with you, Coach Driscoll, as we're doing this over the air, of course, and also on the stream. These two ladies have been an integral part of making basketball for 4 years for Kate and 3 years for Lexi, and then you're obviously in your second year as the head coach. We know how good and talented they are on the floor, otherwise they wouldn't be getting this award. But what have they done off the floor, not just with their teammates, but also the underclassmen, in making Tigerette basketball such a perennial power now?
Well, I guess we'll see, but they've represented and done what they're asked. I think the main word would be they bought in. I said this a lot last year. The run that we had, at some point, we bought into what I was trying to get them to accomplish, and that's probably the hardest thing to do as a new coach, is to not really force. You don't want to force them to buy in, but they just bought in. If they wanted to be successful, they had to do what they were asked to do. And it just clicked at one point, and they've done it ever since. In the off season, when we do elementary camps, they're there. We're working with the junior high, and I feel the excitement's in the air around here, and hopefully that rubs off. But their work ethic on and off the court, just working with the little kids. I mean, the little kids, they don't know this, but they all have like their favorite Tigerettes, which is funny to me, because I'm around the middle school girls a lot with my job. I'm middle school assistant principal, and then some of the elementary kids that I go to the elementary school, and they're talking about their Tigerettes, and some of them are for Kate, some of them for Lexi, and then there's a couple other girls that they all have favorites now, and it's not it may have been there before I got there, but all I can talk about is what it was like here, and it's almost like being a proud dad, that they hear the little kids can't wait to be like them. So that should speak, how things are going and how they've represented themselves.
We got KRES All-Stars Kate Hawkins and Lexi Miller, and Macon Tigerette coach Richard Driscoll. Kate and Lexi, congratulations on your honor, and Coach Driscoll, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And joining us now with his KRES All-Star is Meadville coach Drew Denier and his All-Star Kira Holzer. Take it away, Coach.
Yeah, thank you for having us. First of all, thank you for KRES. You guys for all the coverage for our student athletes over the years, regular season and postseason. Anytime we have the opportunity to have KRES up Meadville is a great experience. So thank you guys for the exposure and for the opportunity again. Last year we didn't get to have this, but so this is my two-time KRES All-Star, Kira Holzer. She was selected to the All-State team again for the second time this year. Just a really hard-working, great kid who's put a lot of time in the gym. She's going to further her basketball career next year at Hannibal LaGrange. She signed on to play basketball there. So we're extremely proud of her for that as well. She's our school's all-time leading scorer. She's scored over 1,800 points in her career. All district 4 years, all-state 2 years, all conference every year. Conference MVP of the Tri-County this year. Finally got to, she's getting a lot of every award that she's received this year. She's a very deserving kid of. I thought she's one of the best players in our area. Since she's the time she stepped on the floor as a freshman, and this year she led our team to her first district title in almost 10 years, and into our first sectional game we got to host on our home floor, which is a pretty cool experience this year. All that's a testament to the time and energy that she's put in. First 2 years she was on the team. Here we weren't very good, so she just went to work harder, and the other kids followed suit. Just a great leader in the classroom, leader for our school, and a leader on and off any field or floor that she steps foot on. We couldn't be more proud of her. Great family. Little sister, I think, looks up to her, follows her lead. We expect to see her, as a part of this team here in the future. And just congratulations to Kira. Like I said, every honor that's bestowed upon her is extremely grateful, and I'm extremely fortunate and grateful that I got the opportunity to coach her this year. So thank you, KRES. Thank you for everything, ladies and gentlemen. Kira Holzer.
All right, that's Meadville head coach Drew Denier and his KRES All-Star Kira Holzer. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We turn our attention to the Milan girls basketball team now for our next KRES All-Stars. We are joined now by Coach Ched Hurley and his KRES All-Star for the second straight year, Katie Pauley. And with the presentation now, here is Coach Hurley.
This is Katie Polly. She has been our leader this year, big time. She has had a great season for us, averaged 31.2 points, almost 7 rebounds, 4 assists. She's just a heck of a player. We're glad we get to have her back next year. She's all-state, Class 3 Player of the Year also. So she's just a big part of what we do, and she's just a great player. She's a gym rat that is very deserving of these awards, and we're super proud of her, super happy that she gets to come back and play for an extra year. And this is for Katie Polly, our KRES All-Star team. So congratulations, Katie.
And Katie, this has been a tremendous junior season for you, winning, helping lead this team to a district title, hosting a state playoff run. How much does that kind of run drive you to continue to improve and lead next season?
Oh, it gets me pumped up for next year, that's for sure. We've already started with some summer stuff, and just can't wait for what happens next year.
Hey, Coach, something you and I talked about as far as, she just continues to improve those stats. For you, when you're looking at seeing her for senior year, what are you looking for next season to continue to see that drive and that improvement even further?
Well, I don't have to do too much to get her drive going. She's really motivated. The last game hadn't hardly finished, and she was back in the gym playing and shooting. So, but what we need out of her is to be our leader, our vocal leader next year, our senior leader, get our young kids going along, get them in the gym, get them playing. And that's what we're looking forward to, seeing her being more vocal and being that good team senior leader that we need.
And Coach, for you coming into this job, what's it been like for you the past 2 years to be able to come in and coach and just witness a player like Katie?
Oh, it's special. It's probably a once in a lifetime in your squad. So it's very special for us to have her. Very special for me to be able to help her along that way, and hopefully she takes something from me to help her out down through a stretch of her career in college and stuff. So it's been very special. We're just really happy that she's on our team, and we get to get some other kids excited about basketball. That's the biggest thing now, and we've done that the last couple of years, and we think we're poised to have another run if we get the kids in the gym, and they're starting to do that. So that's great.
All right, that is Milan head coach Chet Hurley and his KRES All-Star Katie Pauley. Thanks for the time, and congratulations, Katie.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And on this KRES All-Star presentation, we go to Moberly High School. Grace Billington, a freshman, voted to our KRES All-Star team. And with the presentation, here's Lady Spartans coach Tony Vestal. Go ahead, Coach.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to kind of start off in thanking KRES. We're very fortunate here at Moberly to have you guys, and I think about 80% of our games this year were broadcasted. And obviously with the COVID and all the restrictions and stuff with this year, it made it nice for some of those fans that maybe weren't able to get a ticket. They were able to listen online and listen to you guys' broadcast. So just really thank you guys for that. And lastly, it's nice talking basketball with those guys and developing a friendship with them where we talk a little bit outside of doing basketball interviews and stuff. So you guys are big for our program, and we really appreciate it. Now on to our KRES All-Star Grace. She's I don't really think she realizes how hard it is to make this KRES All-Star team. There's some really good players in this area, and with all the schools that are involved in this area, and to only select the 15 players on there, it's a great honor, and she should be really excited about it. And obviously making it as a freshman is even more important. We really relied on her a lot this year, as a freshman, and we graduating 6 seniors from last year. Only had one returning starter in Kennedy Messer, who's only a sophomore. So, really had to carry us for a while, offensively and having to sit down and guard some of the better defenders. Not getting to play in the summer with COVID and not being around our team a whole lot was just kind of, we just kind of learned on the fly a lot this year. Again, she was an all-conference first-team player. She was all-district, Class 5, District 15. She was Northeast Media all-district player. She was KMZU Dream Team player. So she's had a lot of accolades, and people see it, and they know that she's a player. She's on their list on scouting reports. The thing that's so special, she's such a strong kid that can do a lot of different ways and can score the basketball, whether it's getting to the rim. She's able to shoot the three from a couple feet behind the line. She's a really good free throw shooter. She's unselfish. And, the thing that I like about her is, she can just make that baseball pass, 50, 60 feet down the floor and just put it right on a dime to other girls, so she fills the stat sheet up, and she's a super competitor when the lights come on during a game. She led us in scoring with 19.1 points per game. She was second in rebounding at 5.2, second in assists, first in steals, and had made 63 threes on the season. Some of the records she broke this year: single game scoring with 43 points in a game versus Warrenton. She has her single game steals with 11, and she has a single season steals at 93. So some huge honors for her this year, and again as a freshman, and just super excited I get to coach her for 3 more years, and hopefully she's ready as I am for next year to get started. KRES All-Star Grace Billington. Congrats.
All right, Coach, thank you. Tony, if I could follow up, how did you try to ease her transition into varsity basketball this year?
I mean, I don't think there was any transition. She was thrown right in there. The thing with her, her build, she's so, as a freshman, I think that's probably one of the things that other coaches would kind of talk to me about is just how her strength and her size and how she can handle the basketball and can handle that at 25 the varsity schedule and the minutes that she had to play. It was just kind of hopped right in there, and it seemed pretty easy for her.
Okay, Grace, I'm going to ask you one question, but I'm going to make it easy, okay, because it's multiple choice. What do you enjoy more, hitting a three-point shot, blocking a shot, or making a pass for an assist?
I mean, I like making a pass to get an assist, but probably a block.
I knew you'd say block shot. You enjoyed blocking shots. Well, congratulations. Not many freshmen get voted to this team, as Coach talked about, and we look forward to watching as your career progresses throughout your high school days.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Grace.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Brad.
Thanks, Coach. That's Coach Tony Vestal and the Moberly Lady Spartans featured on this KRES All-Star presentation. We check in with Moberly High School, and their KRES All-Star is Jaston Payne, and with our presentation, head coach of the Spartans, Cord Hagedorn. Coach, take it away.
Well, this is my all-star. Jaston is a junior at Moberly High School. He has started for us for the last 2 years at the point guard position. Everything that he did from last year, he won up for us this year while seeing everybody's best defender. He had averaged 22 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. Again, all numbers that were better than he was as a sophomore. He increased his shooting percentages, especially from the free throw line. He had a high game this year of 40 points versus Marshall, was in double digits every game except the very first, and hit 20 points or more in 15 of our 22 games. Even better is the way that he presents himself around the school. He takes care of his studies. He takes care of the classroom, the hallways. He stays out of trouble. He's a good leader. He's the first one in the gym. He's one of the last ones to leave the gym. And it's just something that is for our younger guys to actually look and watch. We had communication after the season about what we want to do and what he wants to do in his future and what he needs to do to get himself there. And he's done that tenfold here in the last 2 weeks since our season's been over, or a month since our season's been over. So, I'm crazy to be able to coach him one more year, and I'm going to miss him when he is gone. But, he's going to make my bill when we take him out to eat a little bit cheaper, though, because he loves to eat steak when we go eat as a team. So it'll be one of those things that I'll miss that too, just the camaraderie with him and the guys, and being able to joke around with him and have good times. And and always that question on whether, him and his significant other are rooting for each other or for their schools. So, so we hope things are great the next year, and that we continue to build on what we've had the last 2 years, and have a great senior season. Here's my presentation of Jason, handing him a certificate. Congratulations, Jason.
Congratulations, Jason. Of course, you had a monster night against Marshall with 40 points. Tell me about that night and your mindset and what was working for you, Jason.
Well, it's just one of our last games. I was just ready to play.
Cord, what's the next step in his development? To take his game to the next level.
We talked about it. We want to continue to be able to get a little bit stronger and continue to be a better rebounder and just keep upping numbers. Not so much just the points, which everybody sees, but the little things, the teamwork, the rebounding, the defensive effort on the other end, just in becoming a complete basketball player. Everybody around the area knows that he can score and knows what he can do, but to go from second team all conference to first team and things like that, one of our goals is to become all state, or one of his is to become all state. But he also just wants to better himself to make ultimately the team better. And that's the kind of kid and the kind of player he is. And that, all the individual stuff is great, but he also wants our team to win. And so that's always a bright spot for us.
Have a great off season. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for the coverage.
Moberly All-Star Jason Payne and head coach Cord Hagedorn with our presentation.
And join us now to make his presentation to his KRES All-Star is Monroe City girls coach Cody Leonard, and he has KRES All-Star Riley Quinn with him. Coach, take it away.
All right. I'd like to thank KRES for the coverage this year. It's always fun to talk to those guys. I'm going to introduce Riley Quinn here. Riley came into our program as a freshman, kind of grew in her role each year. We knew last year, kind of with everything we dealt with, she really hit a groove there right after Christmas and was playing really strong basketball for us towards the end of the year. Then obviously the summer was a little different than what everybody was expecting, but when we got to get back on the court, she was pretty dominant. So we knew coming into this year what she was capable of doing. It's just putting it out there, and from the very first game of the year, she was easily our best player. She ended up averaging 18.8 points per game and just shy of 10 rebounds per game. Every night, the other team had to account for her. She had a heck of a career, scored her 1,000th point this year in the first round of the district tournament against Father Tolton. She had one heck of a career. With listening on KRES with softball, to do what she did this past year as a senior leader on that team, and then to bring it into the basketball as well. She's going to be sorely missed, but she's going to do great things in the future. And this is our KRES All-Star, Riley Quinn.
Thank you.
That's Monroe City's Cody Leonard and his KRES All-Star Riley Quinn. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
We're joined by Monroe City 10th-year head man Brock Idris of the state runner-up Monroe City Panthers, back-to-back Show Me Showdown appearances. His two KRES All-Stars are Logan Bulig, a senior, and Joshua Talton, a junior, two-time KRES All-Star. Brock Idris, your Monroe City KRES All-Star presentation.
Thanks, Eric. First off, thank you to KRES and everything you guys do for our student athletes in the area. And it's such an honor to be here and recognize these two, Joshua and Logan Bulig, on everything they've accomplished and done for our program. I can't say enough of what they mean to me as young men, what they meant to our program and our school and our kids. So proud of everything. Just a few accomplishments that they've kind of done together this year. We won 3 tournament titles, regular season tournament titles, a district championship, and like you said, finished second in state. Tremendous year. Talking about Joshua a little bit as a player, you know, some games I don't know if we're going to get a raise the roof or tell everybody to settle down, but it's always fun. He's a very gritty competitor. So many accolades. He's a Class 3 All-Stater this year, Player of the Year in our conference, Player of the Year on KHQA, and scored over 1,000 points this year. Was All-District, Northeast Media All-District first team, and you know, fortunately, I got another year to coach him, so I'm looking forward to that. So, Joshua, congratulations on your nomination for KRES All-Star. Logan Bulig to my right, it might be your left, I'm not sure, but he was a first team All-CC selection. He's our only senior this year. He was also All-District. The last 4 years, he's been a part of 4 district titles, 103 wins, and 12 regular season titles. And both of these guys, for the first time in school history, has helped our program go to back-to-back Final Fours, which says a lot of what they've meant to our basketball program. And Logan's going to be missed. He led our team in charges, something that we take pride in defensively, is length, being 6'3", 6'4". We can put him at the top of the press and really cause some issues, cause some trouble with other teams, can stretch the floor with the shooting. And he took 27 charges, I think, this year, which is really impressive. And he's going to be missed by our program. So congratulations, Logan, on being a KRES All-Star.
So how special has it been, this run of 5 straight district championships, just for any of you and the culture that this program has built?
Well, I think, you know, you look at each one and you remember the players that we've had, and these guys can probably attest to some of the guys that they looked up to. And just, you know, you talk about culture, you talk about legacy, and you know, we try to talk about guys that we looked up to each year. And some of them have brothers, you know, like Joshua's brother CE that came through, and multiple other guys that come to mind. And that first group with Logan Minner, Michael Speaks, Jordan Bixel, they kind of got things started, got things rolling. But it hasn't been easy, but they've worked for it, and a lot of credit towards them.
One thing I've asked you a handful of times, and one more opportunity to ask you now, Logan Bulig being the only senior on this year's team, how special was he in terms of the stability that he provided, not just from his contributions, but his leadership?
You bet. You know, a year ago, Logan took like a back seat to an extent, was really unselfish. He came off the bench for us and was an all-conference performer as basically our 6th man, because we felt it was best for our team to bring some kind of like firepower off the bench, somebody that can score and create some things defensively for us. And then he obviously took a starting role this year, but his leadership has been outstanding, and just everything he does, he leads by example in the classroom and on the court, and his work ethic. So that's going to be missed, but I know he's got a lot of great things planned for him. He's going to be very successful in whatever he chooses to do.
Brock Idris and the Monroe City Panthers back-to-back Show Me Showdown appearances. State runner-up this year, Logan Bulig, a senior KRES All-Star, Joshua Talton, a junior, and a 2-time KRES All-Star. We thank you all for your time. Congratulations on the honor.
Thank you. Thank you again, KRES, and congratulations to all the All-Stars.
It's time for another KRES All-Star presentation, and the North Shelby Lady Raiders have a KRES All-Star. And Caroline Limburger, the Lady Raiders, made it to the quarterfinals for the first time since 2001 this past year in Class 1. And Landon Daniel, the head coach, has a presentation of the North Shelby sophomore. Coach?
Caroline Limburger is she's very deserving of the KRES All-Star. She's definitely a leader on our team, both emotionally and physically. Her talent set is something that, kind of that stretch four. She can play a 3, she can play a 2, she can play a 5 if she's got to. She means a lot to our team, and a lot of girls look towards her to score and to play defense too. This year I really challenged her to try to be more of a vocal leader, being a sophomore now and starting her whole freshman year. She needed to step up her vocal leadership, and she did that tremendously this year. She always drew the toughest defender in every game. And one of the stats that I like to throw out a lot is of the 4 games where Caroline only scored in the single digits, we as a team actually scored or won 3 of those 4 games. So that's just a testament to Caroline, not being selfish with the ball, not going out there and trying to get her stats up, but wanting to win. And, when she knows that she can get other people involved, we're a better team, and the team really responded to that this year. So very proud of Caroline, and she is definitely very deserving of this KRES All-Star Award. Get you your certificate. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Caroline. And Coach Daniel, just a quick follow-up question for you. We know this North Shelby team was very special, and sophomores always get a lot of the attention. And during the KRES All-Star interview, Caroline herself mentioned that it's not just her with all the success. But let's talk about Caroline in particular. From that sophomore class, how has she been able to develop as a leader within that class and now carry that over into her play this year and now what's going to be future years to come?
Her class is just a group that wants to win, and she's at the top of that, and she usually scores a lot of points and does those kind of things. But you get Ava and Natalie and Sierra involved in that too, and they all kind of look off each other and can build off each other. And Caroline really stepped up this year in that vocal leadership, like we talked about. And if everybody can see the emotion that Caroline puts into the game, everybody builds off of that too. So that's something that definitely Caroline has worked on this year, and it's something we're going to build on for next year.
That's North Shelby coach Landon Daniel and first-time KRES All-Star Caroline Limburger. Caroline, congratulations.
Thanks.
And good evening once again. Joining us now to tell us about his KRES All-Star Chloe White is the coach at Salisbury, Wade Billington. Coach, take it away.
All right, thank you, JB. Sitting here beside me is my junior, Chloe Wyatt. I've had the opportunity to coach Chloe for 3 seasons so far, and they've been a blast. And we've really had a lot of success with Chloe on our basketball team, and she's continued to improve every season that she has played. This year as a junior, she really stepped up into a leadership role for us, and she offensively, defensively, she was a big part of who we are and led us in a lot of categories. She averaged 15 points per ball game for us this year and 8 rebounds per ball game. She had 64 steals this season and led our team in that category. She had 57 assists, and for a girl that was our leading scorer, she finished second in that capacity. And she shot 34% from the free throw line and overall 53% from the floor. So she had a very solid statistical year for us. And she also had the opportunity this year to score her 1,000th career point. And as a junior, as her season comes to a close, she's sitting at 11th in our all-time scoring leaders at Salisbury with 1,083 points. So up to this point, through 3 years, Chloe's been a really strong player and one of the best players in the area. And, it's been my privilege to be able to coach her. This year, just a few of her accolades. She was voted as the Lewis and Clark Conference Most Valuable Player on the girls' side. She received the Sports Writers and Sportscasters First Team All-District, and she was selected to the All-State team as well. And she was also recognized on the KMZU Dream Team as one of the best players in the area. Chloe she's a well-rounded player. She handles the ball well. She did a lot of our ball handling responsibilities for us this year, and probably, in my opinion, played a little bit out of position for where she would be best fitted. But she really rose to the challenge there and gave us some solid and consistent ball handling on the floor. I thought that she rebounded really well, averaging 8 per ball game. That's something that we're going to challenge next year and hope to get that number to go up a little bit. I think she has a lot more in her than what she's let out so far, and hopefully we'll see that number push double digits next year in her senior season. And then Chloe does a really good job defensively. She's long, she's athletic. She does a really good job getting into passing lanes. She's difficult to throw over the top of, and if anybody's been trapped by her, they know that that's a real challenge to get out of that. She's really tough, good in a trapping situation, and I think she really does a lot to throw defenses off, and she creates a lot of havoc on the defensive side. And Chloe's just extremely important to who we are as a team and what we've been able to do over the last 3 seasons. For me, and looking at it, the most exciting part, is I've been able to coach her for her 3 years so far, and she is just a junior. And so we've got a good nucleus of girls returning next year, and Chloe's a big factor in that group. And I look forward to being able to coach her next season and, really seeing what her senior season is going to bring. She's improved with each year, and I think her senior season will probably be the best one yet. And so it is my privilege and my honor to give Chloe her KRES All-Star Award. Congratulations, Chloe.
All right. Once again, that is Salisbury head coach Wade Billington and his KRES All-Star, Chloe White. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, guys.
We're joined by Salisbury Hall of Fame head coach Kenny Wyatt and his 2 KRES All-Stars, Jackson King, a senior, a 3-time KRES All-Star, and Luke Ablin, a senior and a KRES All-Star, as well as these 2 seniors guided Salisbury to a state runner-up finish. Kenny Wyatt, your presentation for your 2 KRES All-Stars.
All right, first of all, on behalf of Jackson and Luke and myself, I'd like to thank KRES and you guys for everything you do for high school basketball in the area, and also congratulate all the other players that made the team. It's quite an honor. My first KRES All-Star is Jackson King, and he's to my left here. He's a 6-foot senior, and he's one of the hardest working kids and toughest kids that I've coached, and he's really going to be missed next season. Jackson scored 457 points this year for an 18 points per game average, and finished his career with 1,670 points. He scored over 14 times this year and only had 2 games that he didn't score in double digits. He led our team in assists, 2-point field goals made, and 2-point field goal percentage with an impressive 68% from the field. It's one of the best I've ever had. Other postseason honors for Jackson include first team all-conference, first team all-district, both coaches and sports writers, and Missouri basketball coaches all-state team. Really thought Jackson matured this year as a basketball player, and I really think this season, more than any of his other years, he made the players around him better, which is really important for the run we made, because it seemed like if someone had a bad game, somebody else stepped up, and I kind of thought that Jackson helped do that during the year by making other guys step up their game. Jackson kind of hope to continue his basketball playing career maybe next year at the college level, and he's really going to be missed, and it's an honor to be able to present him with his 3rd KRES All-Star Award. Luke Ablin's a 6'4", 6'5" senior for us, and Luke really worked hard. He's kind of a gym rat, someone he had to run out of the gym every once in a while at the end of practice, and I really thought he worked really hard to improve his game, and I'm really glad that I had the opportunity not only to coach him, but to get him know him as a person, because he's a really quality person. Luke scored 383 points this year for us for a 15 points per game average. He also went over the 1,000-point mark this season for his career and ended with 1,183 career points. Luke scored over 28 times and only had 3 games this season where he didn't hit double digits. He led the team in block shots, 3-point field goals made, free throws made, free throw percentage at 79%. And, at the end of the game, he wanted the ball, and at the end of the game, his teammates wanted to make sure he got the ball. He had some really impressive 15 or 19 from the free throw line in the district championship game, and 9 straight free throws in the quarterfinal game in the fourth quarter and the 2 overtimes. And He was second on the team in 2-point field goals made, second in rebounding, and third in assists. So just a great all-around basketball player. Other postseason honors for Luke. He was first team all-conference, first team all-district coaches and sports writers. And Luke's a great leader and role model on and off the floor. And one of the things I noticed this year, he was always willing to help the younger kids before practice and after practice. Even with all these great individual accomplishments, though, I think knowing these two guys, the thing they're going to remember most about this season is the season that we had as a team. And we finished 23-3, which included an 18-game winning streak, undefeated Lewis and Clark Conference Championship, our first since 2017, a district title, also our first since 2017, and a really fun run in the postseason where we went all the way to the state championship in Class 2. And so it goes without saying, I really appreciate these two young men, and they're going to be missed a lot. But like I said earlier, it's an honor to present Jackson with his third KRES All-Star Award and Luke with his first.
And before I let you go, if I could take you back to our post-game interview after the district championship, if you could repeat some of the comments you were saying about Luke coming to you one night just saying he just wants to win, and the sacrifice that everybody was able to make, whether it was Jackson taking less shots, Luke taking less shots, just how did everybody come together to make this all work once Luke joined the squad?
Yeah, I'm sure that everyone else has kind of talked about it. It was a strange year for everybody. And, we had to deal with things we'd never had to dealt with before. But I remember, I think it was after our first shutdown, so around Thanksgiving time when we came back, Jackson, I got a text from Luke that said something like, I know it's somebody else's team, or, it's really this person's team or this person's team. I won't mention names that he said. He said, I just want to win. And I really thought at that moment, if we get a chance to play, that we could have a really special year. And I knew the other kids on the team, we Jackson's sophomore year, we struggled quite a bit. We lost. I think we finished 8-16, but we actually outscored our opponents for the year. So we just lost all kinds of close ball games, and it was really frustrating. And then last year we kind of took the step to get over the 500 mark, and I knew that the other kids were ready to win. That was going to be the number one priority. So in Jackson's case, I'm sure he shot the ball less than he did last year. So did Luke. Luke, I'm sure, shot the ball less than he did last year too. So. I just kind of knew if things come together, we had a chance to make a special run, and we did.
Salisbury head coach Kenny Wyatt and his KRES All-Stars, both seniors, Jackson King and Luke Ablin, as the Panthers' second in the state, a district championship on their home floor. Gentlemen, really appreciate the time, and congratulations to you all on all the success, and best of luck in the future.
All right, thank you.
Next up on our KRES All-Star show, we go to Scotland County High School, and Hannah Feeney voted to the team from the Lady Tiger team that made it to the Show Me Showdown. And for our presentation, we turn it over to head coach Corey Schultz. Coach, go ahead.
Hannah is a huge part of our team. She led us in every statistical category. We're looking at for our awards. The only one she did was rebounding. And she was close there too. So I think you have a harder time finding somebody on this list that probably meant as much as she did to our team. She was our leader on and off the floor. Great kid, putting in the work, putting in the effort all summer, all off season long to achieve where she's at now. And we look forward to having her back for one more season and picking up where we left off. And I'm happy to present her with this KRES All-Star Award.
All right, congratulations, Coach. Obviously, this is a second team that you led to the Show Me Showdown. You had another Feeney on that earlier squad. How did this year's team compare to the previous team that made the trip to the big show?
I feel like we were more as a whole, this team, probably skill level. We had three really skilled athletes on that last team in Khalees Bear, Chelsea Wood, and Abby Feeney. This year, I think we're a lot more balanced, and we work more as a group to achieve what we did, and to get down there. And that's pretty special in itself. There to have a tight knit group and be able to stay with each other and rely on our defense and have the success that we've had.
Hannah, how do you stay hungry after the success heading into next year?
Just knowing that we were capable this year, that we can go back and get higher next year.
Congratulations on being voted to our KRES All-Star team. Thank you, Coach, for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hannah Feeney from Scotland County High School and Lady Tigers head coach Corey Schultz.
My KRES All-Star is Keegan Zeibel. I want to first start out by thanking KRES for all the coverage they had for our kids this year and for all the support of Slater basketball once again. I also want to thank all the coaches for voting for Keegan for this tremendous award. This was another great year for our team and for Keegan. He finished the year averaging 14 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Along with being named KRES All-Star for the third straight year, Keegan was an All-Stater for the second time in his career, and first-team All-Conference all 4 years, and first-team All-Districts all 4 years. Keegan is a vital piece to the success of our basketball program that went 19-5 this season and finished being district runner-up. The thing I'm most proud of Keegan is the leader, the great teammate, great role model that Keegan is. Keegan never shies away from any role or situation that he is given, whether it's taking the last shot to win a game or defending the other team's best player. The moment was never too big for him. I've been very lucky to be able to coach a kid like Keegan for 4 years to help turn around the basketball program in Slater. I want to thank Keegan's parents again for all the time they invested in him and by turning him to the player and great role model that he is today. And last of all, I want to thank Keegan for all the hard work, dedication, and time that you put into this program for the past 4 years, which has resulted in 2 district championships, a district runner-up, a trip to the quarterfinals, and multiple tournament championships. Thank you.
Coach, I want to ask you a couple questions about Keegan. Obviously, he's been here before. This is his third straight year making this team. What areas of improvement have you seen within him this year? Where do you think he's grown the most throughout these past 3 years that he's seen success?
His leadership's been tremendous. He started out as a freshman. He came in as a freshman, and first game, I think he scored 23 points. So that's difficult to do as a freshman with the team that we had. The 3 years after a lot of those seniors graduated, and we graduated a big senior class last year, the leadership went out the roof. He took over this team and really made it his and helped everybody else come along. We had a lot of freshmen this year.
How fun was this year and seeing that you had some good success? You pull off an upset in districts. Obviously, Keegan, one of the leaders to making that possible. But what was this year like for Slater basketball?
It was fun, but it was also difficult. You know, you had to navigate the whole COVID season. I missed a game. I think we missed 3 or 4 games this year where we didn't get to play in because of other teams' COVID stuff. But overall, we had a really good year. We won the Slater tournament for the second year in a row, and then being district runners-up. So, you know, we can't complain going 19-5.
Overall, what have you learned as a coach throughout this year and having to navigate all the things like you did?
Be patient. That's the biggest thing. Be patient. You never know on a daily basis what's going to happen. You got to take everything day by day, hour by hour, even minute by minute. So having patience has been the biggest thing for this year.
Overall, when you look at the program as a whole, how do you even start about going to replace a player like Keegan Zeibel?
It's hard. You got a kid for 4 years that came in. My first year came in the year before. I think they won 3 or 4 games. You got go now to a team 4 years in a row. It's almost won 20 wins. He's been a huge part of the 20-win season. You're not going to replace a kid like Keegan, where it's going to take multiple kids to help fill that void next year.
And what kind of things do you look at with those kids that you've got coming back to see them up their game a bit?
They got to take everything that they learned from this year, whether it was good or it was bad, and they got to take it going into next year. We had a couple freshmen that one started and one came off the bench, has seen minutes, huge minutes for us. So those guys got to carry in their experience from this year and what they learned. And then we got a junior that'll be a senior. Those guys got to take their experience any way they can get it and just get better and carry that into next year.
Keegan Zeibel and Slater head coach Dylan Young. Keegan, congrats on the honor. Coach, thanks for the time.
Yep, thank you. Thank you.
And joining us now is Sturgeon head coach Michael Smith, and he's going to tell us about his KRES All-Star, Jacob Brooks. Take it away, Coach.
Well, thank you, JB. I'd like to, first of all, congratulate all the other student athletes this year that were a part of the KRES All-Star team. It's a great opportunity for area players to show their talents in many ways and other coaches to see that. And I'd also like to thank KRES for being allowed to do another event of some kind, obviously with the pandemic that's going on this year. And, we appreciate all your coverage throughout the year. You've been great for us, and we hope to continue that. But as you mentioned, I'd like to talk a little bit about our All-Star, Jacob Brooks, who's a senior for us this year. Obviously, Jacob's done a lot of things for us the last few years. Started his freshman year for us. Actually was a 3-time all-conference player, a 3-time all-district player, as well as now back-to-back 2-time KRES All-Star. So we're excited for him to be able to do those accomplishments. He could probably tell you himself that a lot of these things probably couldn't be done without the help of his teammates, just like the other student athletes that we have here with the KRES All-Star Banquet. But also another highlight I've had this year was right after Christmas, he scored his 1,000th point. And I know that, a lot of our athletes, it's kind of a goal that a lot of them have whenever they get here. That says a lot about their abilities and their talents if they're able to hit that mark. So we're happy for Jacob as well, especially with a shortened season with what we had. We didn't know from week to week or from day to day if we were going to have an opportunity to play basketball. And our motto was, play each game like it's your last, because we didn't know. But, with our shortened season, he was able still to accomplish this. We unfortunately didn't get to the goals that we wanted to, but, all in all, I felt very good about our season this year at Sturgeon. And we're excited for Jacob and all the other players. And I wish all the other KRES All-Stars the best of luck in their future. And at this time, I would like to present Jacob Brooks with his KRES All-Star Award.
And Sturgeon head coach Michael Smith, his KRES All-Star Jacob Brooks. Congratulations, Jacob. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you.
This All-Star salute features Langdon Kitchen from the West Rand Hornets. And here to make the presentation, the coach of the West Rand boys basketball team, Chris Sander. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I'd like to just start out by thanking Chris for all that you guys do for the student athletes and promoting their accomplishments both in the classroom and on the athletic fields and courts. I have the privilege of talking about West Rand boys basketball KRES All-Star Langdon Kitchen. Langdon is a sophomore and the son of Scott and Wendy Kitchen. Langdon was a big part of our success this season and a key part of our 19-6 record. Outside of being a KRES All-Star, Langdon was first team all-conference, first team all-district, first team media all-district, and a member of the KMZU Dream Team. He led our team in scoring, rebounding, and blocks this year with 18.2 points per game, 11.5 rebounds per game, and 2 blocks per game. Langdon, as a 6'5" sophomore, was a dominant presence in the post this year. He really improved his game. He became a scorer with his back to the basket and did a great job of attacking the offensive glass. Sometimes our best offense throughout the year was to get a shot on the rim and let Langdon rebound the basketball and put it back in. He shot 58% from the field and had a very good feel for rebounding the basketball. Langdon would be the first to tell you he had great teammates that helped lead to his success this season. Just as a sophomore, the other players, most of them being seniors, started to look up to Langdon for leadership and knew that he was a big part of success on our team. Langdon is one that is looked up to in our school district, whether it be his classmates, teammates, or elementary students in our school. Outside of basketball, Langdon's really started to show his dominance in other sports as well. Langdon had a very good, successful football season before an injury that held him out of a few games. I believe that Langdon, if he plays a full football season, probably been an all-state performer as a sophomore. He also plays baseball and throws a shot and discus in the track. From what I've seen in those two sports and for what coaches have told me, he will have a bright future in those sports as well. I honestly believe that Langdon graduates, he could be a sport all-state person. Langdon works very hard and has a great head on his shoulders. I'm very fortunate and excited to coach this young man for the next 2 years, and I look forward to seeing what his future holds. Congrats to Langdon on being a member of the 2020-2021 KRES All-Star team. Thank you.
Congratulations, Langdon. Coach mentioned that you kind of developed into a leader even though you were an underclassman. Just take me through that process this summer where you kind of, I'm sure at the start deferred to some of the upperclassmen, but then that moment where you kind of felt like you could take over just a little bit.
Yeah, as a freshman last year, Langdon really started to come on. He started to play more and more. We knew coming back this year that he was going to be a big part of our team. We didn't quite expect the success that he had, but you can tell from early on. I think our first game against South Shelby, I think he came out with 30-plus points and 15 rebounds, and I think he did the same thing in the second game. And so he was one that was scoring a lot. He was rebounding a lot. He was just a good kid, and kids just really started to look up to him, and they just knew that he was going to be a big part of our success.
Thanks, Coach, for the presentation. Congratulations, Langdon, on being an All-Star.
Thank you.
That is Westran coach Chris Sander with All-Star Langdon Kitchen.